It is with a very heavy heart that I make this video, but boys, I think it's time to sell the second gen Tacoma. The Silver Bullet holds a very, very special place in my heart, mainly because it is the vehicle that I grew up driving. It's not my first vehicle. My first one was totaled within the first year of me driving, and then I ended up getting this and building it. So it's kind of like my second first vehicle. So it's really, really sentimental to me, and it means a lot, but I think it's time to sell it. So since I recently washed it and it's clean right now, I'm gonna take it out today, go get some pictures so I can list it tonight, and I'll bring you guys along with me for a interesting type video. I'm gonna be doing a POV driving video, so if you guys don't own a Tacoma and you're thinking about buying one, you could see what it looks like on the inside, or if you do own one and it's stock and you're thinking about going mid-travel, you can see what it's like to drive a mid-travel truck as a daily driver, which isn't really bad at all. So I hopped over to the store and picked up one of these head strap GoPro mounts. I never wanted to be one of these guys, but now I'm one of these guys. Just for one video though. So I'm gonna throw this on, throw the GoPro on, and we'll hop in the truck and we'll start heading to the spot to take pictures. I'm recording this at the end of the video because I always forget to do this, but I'm inserting it toward the beginning of the video. But don't forget guys, we are doing a giveaway right now. It is a car wash bundle from Chemical Guys. Everything you need to wash your car essentially, and some additional things. We got buckets, soap, sponges, brushes, all-purpose cleaners, waterless car wash, microfibers, towels, stuff like that. So if you guys are interested in joining, I'm going to throw it up right here. Head over to my Instagram, follow the 4 simple rules, which is subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on Instagram, comment 3 people you think would enjoy winning that bundle, and like the post. That's it. It's that simple. I will ship it out to you free of charge. Go get entered if you guys want to win the car wash bundle. Now let's get back to the video. Now the reason I said I didn't want to be one of these guys is because this thing looks absolutely ridiculous on my head, especially with my fluffy curly hair. This ain't gonna work. So this comes with this head strap that I'm wearing, but it also comes with a little clamp for your hat. So I might just go this option. It also feels more secure, like it won't be wobbling as much because it's tighter to my head. So we're gonna go this option because I don't look like a complete doofus wearing it. Just a little bit of a doofus, not a complete one though. Before we head out, for everybody who's new here or doesn't know about the truck, I'm just gonna walk through what's done to it a little bit. We have the box camber upper control arms. We have the 2.5 extended travel coilovers with a remote reservoir from King. We have 33-inch BF Goodrich KO2s. We have 16-inch double standard methods. We have a full-size spare in the back. We have 2.0s with remote reservoirs, extended travel, shocks in the rear, and Deaver J66 leaf springs, with a Black Widow Widowmaker muffler, which is dumped right before the axle, somewhere back there. I don't know if you can see it, but it's there. And let's switch over to the GoPro right now. All right, switching to the GoPro. Since I have the backwards hat on, let's get this off. All right. I also have the camera on a super wide view so you guys can kind of see everything that I'm seeing. It's gonna look a little funky, but it's gonna get the job done. Also, I went over everything that we have done on the outside, but for the inside, we also have a pedal commander installed. I did a video on this. Great product. My favorite part. I wouldn't say my favorite part of the truck, but it is definitely one of my favorite additions to the truck. So go check out that video if you're curious to find out more about this. But anyways, let's just get going. These guys were out here earlier checking out the truck stupid hard, and he still is right now. Now, a prediction I'm gonna have for this video that I think might be a little more noticeable to you guys than it is to me is going to be the exhaust. Now I hear when I'm driving, but when I'm just cruising like this, I don't really notice the drone that much because there's not that much drone to begin with. I've driven these Tacomas completely straight pipe. Like when I was younger and stupid, I unbolted the exhaust right below the passenger seat, and that was ridiculously like loud with the drone at any speed. I'd be doing this and it would just be like rah, 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 inside the whole time. So I don't really notice this that much unless I'm doing maybe 75 or 80 on the freeway, which I never really do. It's kind of like my regulator to let me know when I'm going too fast. So that's really the only time that the drone gets bad. So try not to pay too much attention to it if it is too loud. But I don't really mind it. I kind of like the sound of it. I like the hint of drone that there is, the tone that it's giving off. But with that being said, let me kind of jump into why I'm going to be selling this and give you guys sort of an explanation, because I have said before that I think that I will be keeping this vehicle forever until the death of it, and even when it dies I would revive it as like a pre-runner, like cut off the back end 4-link and everything, go crazy with it. But here's the explanation for it, guys. Long story short, the market right now is just on fire for used vehicles and used upgraded off-road vehicles, and I'll tell you why. So with the whole coronavirus thing going on, even though we're getting back out into the world right now, there's still effects on certain markets, and right now the automotive market is still feeling the effects of the coronavirus. Now, something with chips not being available for cars, so a lot of new cars aren't coming out, so the used market has spiked. I don't know too much about that, but what I do know more about is the fact that in the off-road aftermarket parts market, there's not a lot. Everything is back ordered, from suspension to wheels to tires. A lot of stuff is back ordered right now. It could go from 6 months to a year. So people are looking to buy already pre-built vehicles because it already has the parts and they don't have to wait that back order period. About 2 to 3 years ago, I Kelly Blue booked my truck just because I was curious. I was toying around with the idea of selling it, as I do every year. And I believe the highest it ever got would be for a private party transaction, and the high in the range for private party transaction was about $27,000. Now, I toyed with the idea. I posted for 27. I got a few bites, but I still couldn't bring myself to sell it. It wasn't enough cash to get me to sell my baby. So a few nights ago, I went back on Kelly Blue Book and I looked it up because I started to realize what's going on with the market of used vehicles and aftermarket used vehicles. And this right now, the high for the private deal is $31,000. So this truck has jumped $4,000 in value in the past 2 to 3 years. It should be losing value over time, but this just jumped $4,000 in value. And that's just for the stock. I'm not really factoring in the suspension or anything at this point. Just a stock vehicle of this truck jumped $4,000. So if I can sell this truck for $30,000, I'm gonna take that deal. I'm gonna take that deal any day of the week and use that money transferred over to get a newer vehicle. Now, sentimental as I am, and I really did want to keep this, and this is one of the most fun vehicles to drive, which I'll talk about in a little bit, I have to think from a responsible financial standpoint, and also where my life is heading right now. So with a combination of one, needing a little more professional vehicle, and two, the market being so hot right now, I think it's about time for me to sell this. Now, you might be asking yourself, Jacob, what are you gonna get into if you sell this then? What's the next vehicle? Well, there's pros and cons to the market being so hot right now. Pro, I'm gonna get a lot for my truck. Con, I'm gonna have to pay a lot more for another truck. So as of right now, I think my plan would be, if I did sell this, I would sell it and sit on the money for a little bit till the market got a little cooler, and I would drive the Jeep as a daily for the time being while I'm searching for a new vehicle. Now, what is that new vehicle gonna be? Beats me. I have no idea. Right now, the probably front runner for this would be a stock full-size truck, maybe a Silverado 2016 or newer, but I'm also toying around with other ideas. So there's a few options. I'm really not set on anything right now, and we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I just have to search around, look at the market, and see what really reaches out to me at this point. Is it a coincidence that I see a Silverado right when I say I'm thinking about getting a Silverado? Probably, yes. It is a coincidence. It's a pretty common truck, but I don't know. I still want to stick with my, you know, back in previous videos, I've gone over multiple different plans I've had for vehicles, and one of them was selling this truck, getting a full size, keeping it stock for a while till I can get a second vehicle, and then building the Silverado for, say, maybe long travel. So I still have a few options bouncing around in my head right now, but long story short, I'm listing the truck. If it gets a bite at 30,000, then I'm probably gonna take that deal. And if you are a very avid watcher, I don't know if anybody's at this point yet, but if you're a very avid watcher, you will know one of my plans included me saying, if I ever get rid of this truck, then I have to buy the Baja Bug. So another reason to probably get a full-size truck, because I would have a toy that I would have to haul out and also need a bed to pick up parts for. There's probably some of you wondering, like, why is he messing with the manual override thing right now? I do this almost 24/7 when I'm driving, just because I love having control of where my power is gonna be at, knowing where my power is at, because I'm on 33s in a lift, but I'm not re-geared, so the power's kind of sluggish, which is why I also have the pedal commander. But I just love knowing where my power's at, so if I need to get moving, then I'll switch it up so I know where I'm at, versus just letting the gears change on their own. I don't know if that's bad for the transmission. I'm sure somebody's just gonna rip me a new one in the comments, but hey, it's fun. I like doing it, and it helps me get my power where it's got to be. So with the explanation of why I'm selling this out of the way, let's start talking about the truck and daily driving amid travel. And this guy is gonna make me miss the light. So if you want to know more about daily driving amid travel build, like I said before, not bad at all. Yes, you're gonna have to sacrifice a little bit of comfort versus, you know, off the lot vehicle, but that's because, you know, they build them for maximum comfort on the road. But if you want that off-road capability, you're gonna have to sacrifice some comfort. The main reason being because when you get the off-road shocks, they're gonna tune them to be a little bit more stiffer to handle the whoops and the terrain, essentially, for off-roading. Now, there is some variation in there. If you order from certain places like Down South Motorsports, which is where I got mine, they ask you what the application of the shocks is gonna be. You know, what are you using them for? Are you just using the shocks for a lift and you still want the daily driving comfort? Then you'll put that in the description and they'll build them a little bit different. But in my description, I told them I'd be doing off-roading, I'd be doing some fire roads, maybe some very light jumping, whoops, stuff like that, trails. So they built them a little more stiff. So it's not completely maximum comfort. You know, you get a little bit of stiffness on the road. You'll feel the road underneath you, especially with all terrains. Not as bad as mud terrains, but still, again, it's not a street tire, it's an all-terrain tire with stiffer suspension. So I feel the road underneath me. If I go over bumps, it's a little more stiff unless you're hitting them at some decent speed, but to add on to the stiffness of the suspension and the feeling of all terrains, we also have the exhaust like I talked about. Now, I obviously, again, this is all variation depending on what exhaust setup you get, but I wanted something with some good tone and some as much depth and bass to it as I could get, because with it being a Toyota V6 engine, almost any other exhaust I put on this, it sounded like a little race car. It did not sound good at all. So this makes it a little bit louder, a little more drone, and there's a cop right there, so we'll see if there's any problems. I think we're good. And that's another thing about the exhaust. It's not obnoxiously loud to where it's a problem with cops or getting pulled over. Maybe back when they had that year-long like modified exhaust law that passed, but they already got rid of that. So the exhaust also decreases a little bit of that comfort that you get from just a fresh off the lot vehicle. But again, it's nothing that I don't mind. If you're an off-road person at all of this is minor stuff that you won't even notice or mind on your daily commutes. The only time I really notice it is when I'm driving somebody that's not into off-roading, or cars in general for that matter. Then I kind of get a little self-conscious. Like if I'm driving a girl from school or something, you know, I start to think in my head like, oh man, she's probably like, what does this guy drive? It's super stiff, it's super rough, it's not comfortable, it's loud, it's obnoxious. That's the only time I really notice it, but other than that, never really notice it. As far as MPG goes, not that bad. I think I'm like getting 12 or 13 miles per gallon right now. I'm getting like 12 or 13 miles per gallon depending on how I drive, and the sticker I think says 15, so it's not too bad. And again, I drive a little aggressive, so I mean it is what it is. But yeah, all right, I think I like that. Now it's super windy out there, so I'm probably not going to take any of the cameras out because it's just going to get drowned out with wind. But I'm going to take some pictures while we're here, and we'll move on to maybe another spot to get some more pictures, have some variety, and then we'll head back home. That guy drove by right when I finished parking the first time, and I moved out of the way for him because I thought he lived up here. And I reparked it. He came back, and I didn't even see him behind my truck. He just mobbed this dirt around my truck, and he gave me the dirtiest look both times. So I kind of just like looked back at him, and then he rolled down his window and started saying stuff as he was driving away. And I'm like, why is he trying to talk to me if he's driving away? I can't hear him. It's too windy out here. And his window's like barely cracked. So I walked up to his car, and he's like, why are you parked like that? And I'm like, I'm taking pictures. And he said, okay, and drove off. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he lives here. I don't know what, but I'm just going to keep taking my pictures. Yeah, I don't know what that guy's deal was, but he wasn't rude. He was just giving me the nastiest look I've ever seen. And you know it's a nasty look when you can see it through some big sunglasses. That was just very strange, but anyways. Let's switch back to the GoPro. So back to the discussion about daily driving mid-travel. I'm not sure what other questions anybody would have about it. If you guys have questions, put them down in the comments. I'll be more than happy to answer them. But I think oh my God, it's a dog. Are you all alone? What is going on here? Hello? What? You have no collar. What is going on? Hey, buddy. What is going on? I hate leaving dogs when they're walking by themselves because I feel like as soon as I leave the dog, I'm gonna see a sign that says lost dog and then I'm never gonna find it again. Whose dog is that? Where did it go? All right, that's kind of weird. Anyways, back to what I was saying. I think where you start to get into some iffy territory is if you try to daily drive a long travel. I heard that's where you really got to be committed to it. The best advice I could give you is if you question anything about daily driving a long travel Tacoma, hit up Chad's Taco. I did a video with him. He daily drove his long travel Tacoma and it was a pretty serious build, as far as you could probably go with bolt-on before you have to start doing some crazy fabrication type stuff. So go ask him about daily driving a long travel. I don't know anything about that world. All I know is me and my mid-travel. So honestly, I think one of the perks that people don't know about, unless you're driving a higher up vehicle like a truck, especially a lifted truck, is the added benefit of being able to see over traffic when you're like on a freeway or on a street. I've noticed that a difference in my truck and when I drive friends' cars is when I'm in my truck, I can see over all of the traffic. So I can better plan my route, if you will. Like if you're trying to pass people or position yourself into the right lane, I can see over everything. I can make my plan and then I can execute it perfectly. Because I can see over everybody. I can see down to the next signal or two signals. When you're in a car, you're down below. You can't see through people. You can't see around people. So it's kind of harder to plan unless you're planning on driving like a complete D-bag, I guess. And you just want to start swerving and cutting people off, but I'm not about that life. So I really enjoy being able to see, especially if there's, you know, if you're in like stop and go traffic or if there's traffic coming up, you can see all those brake lights before it's the person in front of you. So I can stop, you know, before I need to lock up my brakes. It's a lot nicer. That's what I love about driving lifted trucks versus cars. And also the ease of going over stuff. If you drive a lowered car or even some normal stock cars, there's some things you might not be able to get over with ease. This, I can go over speed bumps at like 40 miles an hour. Like I can hit, you know, when they have like rain gutters in some intersections, I can mob that. That is my favorite thing to do. I might try to find one on the way home actually. It's my favorite thing to do, to mob through that kind of stuff and not have to slow down, maybe angle, depending on stuff, you know, depending on how aggressive it is and how low you are. But so just being able to get over stuff, drive over it, especially with bigger tires, it's a lot nicer. And also me being the paranoid person I am and always planning for worst possible events, if I'm meeting up with like people for offer up deals or something and I think they're gonna try to like box me in and rob me, I'll always park like nose in against like a curb or something. So if they do try to pull it behind me and try to rob me, I'll just hop in and I'll mob that curb and get out of there real quick. So it's just stuff like that that I enjoy, having the lifted vehicle with the bigger tires. It's just fun. Now, more specifically, stepping away from all lifted vehicles, but to Tacomas, like, look how tight everything is. Some people might not like this, but I really like this. I feel like snug in here. Like, I'm snug. The seat hugs my sides. It hugs the sides of my legs. Everything's right here at hand's reach. And if you're off-roading, if you're taking some aggressive turns, I'm planted with everything right here. I'm not sliding across a big leather full-size seat, you know. The steering wheel, it's thicker. I've driven like Garrett's Ford and their steering wheels are thinner than these and they're bigger. So this is comfortable. Everything's just comfortable about this. I like the compactness. It feels like a sports car, even though I know it's a truck. But see, now this is one of those intersections I'm talking about that have the dip. You can see right there on the road, there's gashes all in the asphalt from people just kind of with lowered cars going at it and not knowing. Lowered car, he's probably going to try to struggle going through that. He's going to take it slow. He's not going to struggle, but he's going to take it slow. All right, let's see him go through it. Yeah, see, he's got it angled through it. And he's gone. I don't think midday I'm going to be able to time that well enough to actually send it through, to be honest, because there's just too much traffic going on right now. Oh, come on, baby. Oh, baby. Let's hit it, baby. Woo! Let's go. Yes. There was no way in a million years did I think I was going to be able to time that with an open lane and a green light with no one in front of me. But I did it. It's the magic of getting it done for you guys. So yeah, I just got to get some interior shots when I get home, and then I'll be making the ad and sending it out to a few of the classified Instagram pages, like the classified ad pages, not like secret. They're not a secret. It's gonna be like Villamont Market and off-road sales or sell off-road. All right, well, I'm in the final stretch heading home, so I'll probably cut the GoPro footage here. I'll get home, and we'll just do some closing remarks with you guys. See you when we get home. All right, I'm back home now. Yeah, I just thought I'd share the news with you guys because I know a lot of the people here are here for Tacoma content, and I hope I don't lose any followers over this because this is the beginning of a new journey, guys. You know, the Baja bug has to happen if I get rid of this. Probably gonna get another truck. Once I save up enough money and start my job, then we'll start building that truck. So don't think of this as the end of whatever this is right now. It's the beginning of a lot of new things. So I'm really excited for it, as sad as it makes me. And hey, who knows, maybe I don't even get a bite on the price I'm looking for and I end up keeping it. So guys, stick around, see what happens. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the updates of what's gonna happen. But I will be posting this tonight, and we will see if I get any bites in the next week or two. Now with that being said, Bryson's Raptor grill lights for his TRD Pro grill came in a few days ago. So we were supposed to put them on today, but Sleeping Beauty was still sleeping till I think 3 when I started doing this. So that's either gonna happen right now or tomorrow. So stay tuned, guys, subscribe to the channel, and thank you so much for watching and being here with me on this journey. I'll catch you guys in the next video.